Welcome, everybody, to Who's Your Band? You know what? I'm excited today because, one, Sean and I are back. How are you, Sean?
I'm wonderful. I think all three of us had great shows this weekend.
I think we did, man. And this was a great weekend. This was a great week for shows. I think we can, with a lot of confidence, say comedy is back, entertainment is back.
Yeah,
and I think we're only moving forward.
I agree 100%.
All right, so let's get into this right away because this is going to be a fun one. And I know we're both looking forward to this guy.
Oh, I am.
He has been part of the Boston Comedy Festival. You could see him perform all over New York City, Long Island, New Jersey. He has been known as the Long Island Sean Morton. Let's give it up for Sean's pal, my pal, everyone's good time boy. Give it up for our buddy, Mr. Mike Keegan today. Mike Keegan.
Guys, thanks so much for having me. What's up, fellas?
We've been looking forward to having you, Mike.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, this all day. Awesome.
I think we're putting an end to the rumor that Mike Keegan and Sean Morton are the same person.
We put an end to that 4 years ago when I booked Mike on a show in New Jersey along with John Consoli, simply for two reasons. Actually, three reasons. One, Mike is a very, very funny comedian. Number two, I had never actually worked with Mike, and it was one of the people that I really wanted to work with. Finally, and number three, I needed a photo op, so that way we can actually prove that we were in the same place at the same time.
And it literally was the first time we were in the same place at the same time.
It was.
Sean Morton, Mike Keegan, John Consoli.
Yes.
What the fuck was this stage made out of? What kind of concrete?
What a short, chubby show that was, huh?
A short, chubby show.
Yeah,
there's like a lot of sweat in that show.
There was a lot. I felt empowered being the tallest person on that show and not having the biggest tits. It was a great show for me.
Let me tell you something. That is one that's a very funny show, and it's a show of all good guys. But man, was there did they feed you guys?
They didn't want to. They had no choice.
Oh, here we go. If we're 2 minutes in, we're starting with fat jokes.
I know, there we go.
Fucking short little prick.
Let's address the elephants in the room. Why not?
Oh, hey, listen, I'm 70 years old and I bench 400 pounds and I'm 5'3". Okay, shut up, jerk. You're gonna win this one. Let's bring a Chihuahua to fight with a pit bull. Let's do that today.
Okay. By the way, we're not even 2 minutes into the show. Okay. Right. that's what this show is about today, people. That's what this show is about. So let's talk a little bit with Mike Keegan. I mean, listen, we all hang out. Me and Mike just did a show together on Thursday. You know, we all work together. We're all friends. But for people who don't really know you, Mike, tell us a little bit about you, your background, how you got started in comedy.
All right, I'm from Long Island. I live right by Governor's Comedy Club. I'm like 5 minutes away from Governor's Comedy Club. And
did you grow up there?
I grew up there. Yeah, I grew up 5 minutes up the road, and I've started loving stand-up comedy because my dad used to work nights, and he would get home at like 2:00 in the morning. I'd sneak downstairs with him, and we'd watch the specials, the Richard Jennings, the Bobby Collins special, and we used to love watching comedy. So then once I got to be like 15, 16, I started hanging out at Governor's Comedy Club. It's right up the block, and all my favorite comedians were coming there. You know, it's an A room. It's a great room. And so I hung out there until I was, for 10 years before I even got on stage. I always wanted to, but I never knew how to get on stage. I didn't know what to do. And I was working. ended up getting laid off my job. And I saw that they do a comedy class at Governor's, and after you graduate, you get to go on stage and do a show. I'm like, I'm going to get to perform at Governor's. That's awesome. Like, I saw Jerry Seinfeld on that stage. I saw Dice on that stage. So that's kind of how I started. The first time I really actually got on stage, it was about 2 years before that. I was in Ireland for St. Patrick's Day. And I was really drunk at a bar with a bunch of my friends, and a bunch of people were getting on stage at this bar and singing. And my friends made me get up there and tell awful street jokes, terrible street jokes, but it got some laughs. And I'm like, I love this. I love being on stage and making people laugh. So once I came back here, I started doing the classes at Governor's and doing open mics and stuff after that.
You think comedy classes really work?
I don't think. I think it gave me the confidence to go on stage and know what I'm gonna say for 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you funny.
Doesn't make you funny. The jokes I had were terrible, but it gave me 5 minutes of things to say where I could work on that at open mics, work on my delivery, and then start learning how to write my own jokes and be funny, you know, because it was really 5 minutes that somebody else wrote for me that wasn't funny because they don't know me, that, you know.
Right.
And so I don't think they necessarily
Who was teaching the class?
It was John Truson.
Ah, okay. Yes.
He was the manager and booker over at Governor's. And I mean, I think it just gave me, you know, I knew now what I could say for 5 minutes rather than just standing there looking at the, you know, microphone.
Now Thursday night, I ran into your uncle, and he was telling me a story that when you were either 8 or 9 years old, you were at a wedding or something, and you went up and
birthday party for my aunt,
and you went up and started telling jokes, and you were funny. They said,
yeah, you know, it was jokes that like I heard on the radio or something. It was like you know, things I heard on like Z100, you know, but they weren't my jokes or anything. But my cousins got up on stage. I have 2 male cousins that are my age, and we grew up together. They got up and they were singing like Billy Joel songs, and we were all like 8, 9 years old. And then I did, you know, stuff that I wanted to tell jokes that I heard on the radio, and they were terrible. But you know, it was, I guess you know, people got a kick out of it because it's an 8-year-old kid talking about his penis on stage, you know.
Now he's 36 talking about his penis on stage.
Exactly.
I love the idea that you grew up in the shadows of a comedy club and then actually went back and performed. What was that like for you to like and perform at the club that like you grew up, you know, admiring?
It was awesome because, like I said, the Governor's, you know, was my Yankee Stadium. That was
right.
You know, it was because it was such a good club. I've been to like, you know, even before the first time I got on stage there, I went to like shitty clubs, like the ones the tourist trap clubs in the city a lot, and you know, but Governor's is always where I saw like legitimate, real comics that I saw on TV. So when I got to be on that stage, it was all. I remember driving there, and I was just nervous. I'm like, I'm going to be on the stage where I saw Jerry Seinfeld 2 years ago, and I saw Dice there 10 times, and Robert Schimmel, and it was awesome. It was really cool. And it was cool because we're in the green room, and the bathroom in the green room at Governor's, they remodeled it now. But right after Seinfeld had ended, Jerry Seinfeld was doing a week residency at Governor's, and he had it in his contract that they had to build a full bathroom with a shower for him to use while he was there for the week. And they call it the Jerry Seinfeld bathroom. And I'm like, this is the bathroom that they built for Jerry Seinfeld. And also, he never used it the whole week after they built this whole fucking bathroom for him. But, you know, it's just,
okay, you see James got a few dollars. He can afford to put
Exactly. Yeah.
Was there a club that like when you were growing up that you like, when you looked at like when Mike, you looked at Governor's as kind of like he said, like Yankee Stadium, that's a great analogy. Was there a club like that for you that you got to work at?
You know, it was kind of like I've had moments.
Was it the Cove?
Yeah. Fuck that place. Yeah, no, I've had moments like, you know, when you and Mike's worked there too. When you step on the stage of the Borgata, that was like a very surreal experience too. But I got one coming up. I'm doing a theater in Lakewood, New Jersey, called the Strand Theater.
Oh,
and I'm headlining it, and like I'm looking, and I'm like, Carlin headlined this theater.
That's awesome. You know, I've never worked there, but that's one of the places, like, you know,
so that's kind of like a cool thing, you know, but I think, you know, I always look forward to the next place. I don't really care where we perform, but there's always been some cool plays. Like Caroline's was fun to play. Gotham was great to play, you know, headlining Levity Live was fun. Like the bigger names, when you start putting yourself in like a different situation, when you like you just said, Mike, when you see the people that you loved growing up, and like you see your name on the same flyer. Like I did that at like I think it was Laugh It Up in Poughkeepsie. I had headlined there New Year's Eve, and like the next week was like Bobby Kelly, and the week after that was Norton, and the week after that was like Voss. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing headlining New Year's Eve here when these assholes are playing
Norton,
here the week
Bobby
after?
Kelly, Rich Voss. I mean, that's all you put yourself.
You know, it's fun. It's a fun thing to do.
You guys get nervous when it's a room like that? Like, you know, when it's a club that you've been to several times, but when it's a theater, do you have to psych yourself up a little bit more, or does it take on a little bit more importance to you, or is it just like matter of fact?
I get a little intimidated when it's a theater I'm working for the first time. First of all, most of the time you're working for a new booker and you want to make a good impression on them. So there's that little bit of pressure that's on your shoulders. But but also theaters are a lot different, like with your delivery and your timing, because the laughs,
That's right.
the laughs take longer to get to the stage. So for your first
and
couple
you can't
minutes,
rely on crowd work as much in a theater.
Exactly. It's different. And I prefer little gritty, dirty comedy clubs. I mean, theaters are always a thrill. But I guess I get a little more intimidated, like in a theater situation.
Well, Mike, didn't you also open for Richie Byrne over at the St. George Theater?
Yeah, that was really cool. That was probably the nicest theater I performed at, and it was me and Richie and Chris Roach. And again, that was another thing where it's you have to. Your first couple of minutes on stage, you're working on your delivery and timing because it takes a while for the laughs to get to the stage. And like I said, you can't really see anyone in the audience. You can't really rely on crowd work or anything when you get stuck on anything. And it was definitely more intimidating than when I work at clubs.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful room. Sean, that is the theater where, if you saw the movie School of Rock, the final scene, where the big concert is, that's where it was filmed.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
and I think
theater.
a lot of episodes of Glee.
I didn't know that at all. That's awesome.
Yeah. Is there any places that you'd like to play now? Like, what's still on the bucket list for you guys?
I'd like to go back to the Borgata. That was always my favorite gig. I did 2 weeks, 2 weeks there. And
I don't think they're doing comedy yet. I don't think it's open
next month. Actually, end of this month, beginning of next month, they're starting back.
Oh, nice. Okay,
different bookers. So it's Chris Mazzilli booking it now. It used to be Richie Minervini, so they don't really know me there now. Richie used to book me and he knew me. But the places that are on the bucket list, nothing really in New York or anything. But I'd like to do obviously the Comedy Store. I'd like to go out into LA, and I did the Ice House out in Pasadena. That was an awesome room, but I never made it to the Comedy Store. So that's on my bucket list, and like the Laugh Factories and stuff.
Fuck the fucking Comedy Store. Let me tell you, it's such bullshit out there, because first of all, New York comics really don't do well out there. You got to really change your style out there. I mean, I've performed out there, and they just look at me like, who is this obnoxiously loud?
They look at you the same way here. What are you talking about?
Yes, but here's the thing, Jeffrey. I make money doing this.
Okay. And your point is?
That means people like me and they think I'm good and they keep asking me back.
And gosh darn it, they like me.
Yes. And I did the whole thing at the Comedy Store, and it's like, you can have as many credits as you want on the East Coast. And they're like, okay, that's great. Go sign up and put your name in a bucket, and maybe you'll get 2 minutes on a stage.
Yeah.
It's so weird, but I've met a lot of great people out there too. I mean, I've had half-hour conversations with Sebastian and Steve Rannazzisi and Rogan and all these people out there. I mean, it's a great place to hang if you go to the store, because all you have to do is just hang outside. You don't have to perform. You just hang outside, and you see everybody and their mother walking by.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
You know what? I find the difference between doing comedy in New York and LA is, especially between New York and LA comics, is I think New York comics are grittier and are happy and satisfied being comics. Right. I think LA comics kind of use stand-up as a platform, as a vehicle for a writing job or an acting job,
100%.
Do something in movies. It doesn't have the same grit that we have here.
You're I have no desire to be on TV. I want to work in comedy clubs and be, and just headline comedy clubs, and I don't really care to be an actor.
Well, you're a fool because you could play the John Panette story.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm working on that. I'm working on my memoir for John Panette.
And I've always said, if anybody ever writes a John Candy biopic, I'm fucking punching everybody in the face, and I'm making sure I get that role.
Mike, if they started, you found out they were writing the John Panette story, okay, would you seek out an audition?
100%. I would do whatever it takes.
I think all you have to do is show up.
Exactly. I would do whatever it takes. Walking 3 blocks to the studio, I guess. I don't know, but yeah.
Because casting is really all about type.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't see them casting anybody else to play John Pinette.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They're not booking, Mark Norman to play John Pinette.
Yeah.
It's
It
funny.
pisses me off when I watch that show, This Is Us. They had the husband who's married to the heavy girl, right?
Yeah.
Big old fat dude. All of a sudden, the next season, he's not fat anymore. Fucking guy was wearing a fat suit the whole time. You're telling me there was not one goddamn good-looking chubby actor who could have taken that spot? You had to pick like a fucking like a semi-wannabe fat guy and put a fat suit on him? Pissed me off.
Hey,
Now I know how those Asian actors feel when they have a white guy play an Asian guy and they all get upset. You put a real fat in there.
Exactly.
Do you know what fat guy I'm obsessed with? Do you ever watch the commercial for Ozempic?
I know it.
Ozempic. You ever see that one commercial? It's like this guy who's on, I think, Mike and Molly.
Oh yeah, Billy Gardell.
Okay, Billy Gardell. And
yes, you're right. Yeah.
I want this guy's life. He's in the commercial. He's filming something.
He would be fat and diabetic. Is what you want to be?
Let me tell you something. He makes fat and diabetic look like a wonderful.
Listen,
better than anything that any of us have going on.
Let me explain something to you.
I don't want to be brought up on stage from now on. He makes fat and diabetic look fun.
Let me explain something to you, Jeff, because you're just a semi-fat guy, but you're going to get there soon. Don't worry. Mike,
I'm working on it.
Mike will attest to this too. No fat man ever goes to the park, number one, and brings fucking exercise bands and is
I
doing
love
this
that
in a park.
He's got exercise. You know the commercial.
No fat guy is bringing
Those
cups
circles, he's running
and
the
is
circle.
running fucking drills in a cup. No, it doesn't work. You know what fat guys do in the park? They
And he's
eat
not sweating.
ice cream.
Yeah, I sit on a bench.
Yeah, we sit on a bench and we eat ice cream in shame. That's what we do.
Dude, you couldn't have. Were you fucking spying on me today? Because that was. I went to the gym today. And then, before I came home, okay, me and my wife go out for a walk. We take the dog out. There's an ice cream truck. Am I passing up on the ice cream truck?
No.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
My whole goal for this
100% right.
podcast is for two things: to get Jeff very fat and to get a new co-host. That's the only two things I want out of this podcast.
The Jeff's one knee injury away from becoming a fat guy, I think.
Oh, you know what I want him to get to? I don't even want him to get super fat. I just want him to get gout. Like I want him to get really bad gout, like where his foot just becomes like a friggin' baseball, like just fucking big toe like this. That's all I want.
Or what I could do if I can get like a mild strand of COVID, where I can't eat for 3 weeks. I think that would put me in the right direction. I'm right now teetering.
Or
I can
like
go
a mild
either way
stroke
right now.
that would actually level off your speaking.
Wait, do I have use of my limbs?
Only one.
If I get the stroke. No, I need to have both.
Once in a while, it acts up, and you don't really have use of it.
All right, I'll give you your dominant jerk off arm. And the opposite
do I get the
leg.
left? What about the? No, I need all limbs. I need to be able to walk and lift. My wife can't carry something.
Broke right now. That's pretty cool.
But I'll take something where again I need 3 weeks where I can not have an appetite, not eat, and then I think I'd be fine. I need 3 weeks though.
My mom's meatloaf.
I lose 20 pounds in 3 weeks, and all of a sudden I'm back to being great. I'm young again.
All right, slow down. Let's just be happy with 20 pounds. Young again.
I'm young again.
Fucking
you understand?
Hoover.
20 pounds for me is a fountain of youth.
Jesus Christ. Hoover was president when you were born, for Christ's sake.
He was not president when I was born. Hoover was president during the Great Depression.
Yeah, 20 pounds for me and Sean is like throwing a chair off the deck of the Titanic.
Yeah, it's like I just have broccoli raw, but I'm down 15 pounds
that's
after that.
Yeah. What did you deep fry it in? Fucking broccoli raw.
See, this is where you don't understand because you're not Italian.
Yeah.
I'm married to the most Italian person in the world. We're having dinner right after this podcast.
Yeah. What a saint.
All right, so Keegan, so let's go back to some other stuff here. Okay, so you're doing comedy, and what was the first gig you got paid for?
First gig I got paid for, it was this place called the Plaza Arts Theater, and it was like a tiny little movie theater. The room probably holds about 30 people, and it's like stadium seating in this tiny little like black box kind of room. And the guy who runs the show, he goes, we just all split the door evenly. So 8 people showed up to this show. And after the show, it went okay. It was like my first paying gig, and I did 5 minutes, and a decent 5 minutes. After the show, after 8 people show up, the booker goes, "Okay, I'll send you a check this week." 4 days later, I get a check for $7.40.
Gotta love it.
And you know what? It was the most thrilling check I've ever gotten in my life.
You still remember it, right?
I'm professional now.
You still remember it.
Exactly.
Let me ask you guys both this. I love that. This is my favorite part about comedy. I love talking about the hell gigs. Okay, Sean, worst hell gig or hell gig story.
Worst hell. I mean, I've had a few. I did a black lesbian wedding.
Ooh.
They saw me at a show. They liked me. Then they booked me, and they were like, I'm like, all right, I'll do like, 10, 15 in between, like, dinner and the what do you call it, and dessert. They go, no, we want you to do 45. I said, let me explain something to you. Your black auntie from Virginia who's driving up from this wedding does not want to see my dumb face do comedy for 45 minutes. She wants to go.
Did you say auntie?
I did. I said auntie actually.
Auntie, yeah. We're so white. We're so white because I didn't correct you. I'm like, yeah, I know you're.
Now I want to kill him. Now I want to kill you.
So I said, listen, I'm not doing 45. And she goes, how much will it cost you? So I gave her a ridiculous number, and she goes, no problem. I said, it's got to be in between dinner and dessert. Okay. They walk out. The bride and the bride walk out, and they do the first dance, and they go, and now for your entertainment for the evening. It was right at the fucking beginning of the wedding. And 5 minutes into the wedding, the Radio Shack microphone broke. So I'm screaming in the middle of a freaking dance floor.
Are they listening to you?
No, they hated me. They fucking hated me. Jeff, I can go on for hours with hell gigs. Hours.
What's another one? And then we'll get to Keegan. Yeah, I love hell gigs.
Oh God. Let's think of another great one. Mike, jump in. I'm going to think of one. You tell me one of yours.
I have like 2, and then I want to talk about one yesterday that really could have been a hell gig. But the first one that comes to mind is I'm working with Gallo and McNeely, George Gallo, Terry McNeely.
Yep.
And they were the first ones really to bring me on the road and give me real shows. And they brought me to open for them all over the place.
Wait, hold on a second, Keegan. Are you like at a nursery school or something?
This is a 6-year-old playing in her dollhouse right across from me.
That is your communist girlfriend's daughter, who is adorable, by the way. Yes.
Yes. I saw her Thursday. She is a cute little kid.
Adorable. So it's hilarious. But okay, so the first one that comes to mind, working with Gallo and McNeely, and they were doing like the Road Rage comedy tour.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember that. Sure.
That was just being we were going to like bars and doing like guerrilla shows, and just nobody knew we were coming. So the one that was really the worst was this place called Rudy's. It was a biker bar here on Long Island, and they had known Gallo. He had done shows there. So when Gallo goes there, all the bikers, they just mess with him, and they heckle, and they get nasty, and they throw things, and they get drunk. But here I am. I'm a brand new comic, and this is my first time. But they're thinking that they could treat me the same way that they treated Gallo, and I was just mortified. They 6 of them just set up their seats 4 inches from the stage, and everything that comes out of my mouth, they're just throwing things at me and just telling me I suck. And I lasted like 3 minutes, and I left.
Oh,
that was one of the first ones. Another one was I was doing a Christmas party in a transmission shop. I was doing that Christmas party, and
wow,
it was
that sounds so promising. I can't believe that didn't go well.
I thought it would, because like there were like legitimate people, like there was a band playing there, and the band was it was Joe Rock from WBAB and Mark Mendoza from Twisted Sister were in the band.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, all right, there's like decent people here. It's going to be good. But when when the comedians go up, is they have the boss. He sits in his office and he plays sound effects while the comedian's up. So every joke I told, you hear a bomb sound effect or wah, 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 wah. I'm like,
I hate that.
Like that stupid Staten Island fucking television show, right? It was. Do you remember that?
The Staten Island comedy show.
Oh my God!
Nevin Cummings.
I did it
Freddie
one
Constantine.
time. I did it one time. And Mike, they have a guy playing drums behind you. So after every punchline, you hear,
oh God,
I wanted to murder this guy by the end of the show.
It's so disrespectful. I've had shows like the DJ and they try to do that. And the first time they do it, I'm like, don't you dare do that my whole set. I'm like, that I'm going to fight you if you keep doing that shit. It sucks. Yesterday, I'm doing a show, though. I got hired to do this private party yesterday. It was a surprise birthday party for this guy. And his wife calls me up. They hired me, and the money was so good. I usually hate doing these things. It was in Connecticut. The wife calls me up, thick Russian accent. And she goes, you know, me and my friends, we're not really into comedy. So if we get up and have cigarette, don't be offended. My husband and his friends, I don't know if they like comedy. They might get up. Don't be offended. My parents don't speak English. So if they get up, don't be offended. So was everyone just going to get up during my set and leave? Why are you paying me all this money to do a show? And it ended up being okay. It was outdoors and hot. So it's kind of rough, but.
Oh, you must love that, outdoors and hot.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
that's Sean's favorite.
I did it last night.
You love a good outdoor and hot show.
Oh, listen, man. Let me
we
tell you
did it over the summer, remember?
Oh God! Last night for me, man, was like it was very strange because, like, again, I get very cranky when I got to work outside, and it was a friend of mine who booked it. I was like, listen, I would not normally do this, but since you're a piece of shit, I'm wearing shorts tonight, and there's not really anything you could do about it. So I got there, and it was an outdoor show on a lake. It was 160 people in folding and beach chairs, just chilling out. And they were fantastic. I couldn't see anything, but they were fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
But I did a new opening joke where I said, "Who's gotten vaccinated?" First thing I said, and people start clapping, and I go, "All right, honestly, who hasn't gotten vaccinated?" And it was like 10 of them. I go, "Please do me a favor. It's not a political thing. I need you to go get vaccinated tomorrow." I said for one reason and one reason only. I am 6'3", 340 pounds. I am fucking tired of working outside. I need clubs to open at 100% capacity. I need air conditioning, 4 walls, and a green room and chicken fingers. Please get your vaccine.
I don't know, man. I think I did a show last night. It couldn't have been more crowded. All indoors. I'm telling you, man. Clubs seem to be back.
I think they are too.
Yeah. I've been working some of the clubs, in the past couple of weeks. And they are back, and the crowds are the best because these are people.
That's right.
If you don't want to go out, you're going to sit in your basement, and because it's acceptable right now. These are people that have been inside; they want to be out, and the crowds have been so good.
Yeah, that's no way to live. I want to share a hell gig with you guys because like the comics that I did it with. This is my first year in comedy, and I'm middling for Freddie Rubino, and Tommy Gooch is hosting. And this is a gig out in the Bronx. And when we get there, it's billed as steak and comedy. So steak got the top billing over comedy, right?
Listen, in my book, it does too.
Yeah, exactly.
So steak, so they're there primarily for the steak, and there's going to be comedy. And we walk in the room, and it's crowded. There's got to be at least 100 and some odd people there. But like most of them, I'm saying 80% of the crowd are 80 years and over. Okay. I've never worked a crowd like that, at that time. Like I said, about a year into comedy, not even. And I go up, and Freddie goes, before he goes, just kill as much time as possible. As opposed to do 15, just do as much time as possible. So I want to do as much time as possible. I go up, first 7 minutes, I'm doing fine. It's going great. Okay. Then I do a pre-cum joke. I didn't have a lot of bullets in my arsenal. Okay. This is what I had. And now they fucking hate me. Okay. I keep going. So I keep playing. Like there's maybe 20 people.
35 years.
And I figure, hey, they're going to relate to this, right? What do I know? They're going to relate to pre-cum, moving at the speed of pre-cum. That was the joke. I forgot what the rest of it was. It was a horrible joke. And, there were like maybe 20, 40-year-olds in the back of the room. So I played the rest of the set to them. I ate up 20 minutes. And, but really for the next 13 minutes, this crowd couldn't hate me fucking more. Okay. And it was just brutal. Another time, Mike, out in Long Island. Okay. I forgot who booked it. But I was co-headlining with J.J. Boyd. Do you know him?
I know. Yeah. I know
Okay.
him.
So he brought an opener. I brought an opener, and whoever was hosting it. And there was this guy in the crowd, and he's fucking with everybody. I mean, everybody he's fucking with. And like, it's out in the Hamptons. I have to drive 2.5 hours to get out there. I go there, and I mean, the host goes on. Boyd's my opener goes on. Boyd's opener goes on. And I think I had Freddie G with me. You know Freddie G?
Yeah.
Okay, he's a Queens comic, right? So I'm like, Fred, I go, if this guy fucks with me, I'm telling you, I'm going after him right away. And sure enough, I'm up there a minute, and he goes after me. And now I make it weird. I'm lacing into him like it's on. It's Staten Island Street. I go after him, and after about 12 minutes, him and his table get up and leave.
Oh, really?
Right? Yeah.
And you were the first one to go after him?
Well, he had messed with the other 3 comics, and the only one that was left, Boyd was going to close the show, but we were doing the same amount of time. Okay. Yeah. So now I've been up there for 12 minutes and just fighting with this one guy. The whole time. I'm gonna die on this hill. Right. So, but now I just made it weird in the room. So I thought, man, let me try a little crowd work. So I'm like, sir, you're married? Guy sitting there like this, arms folded, move on. I'm like, no, now I'm fucking angry. I'm like, I'm not moving on. This will be the rest of the show. I will just keep sitting here asking you if you're married. And now the crowd starts to get on my side.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
So he answers, and so now I'm getting a little momentum with the set. It's going okay. I start with this woman, and she's being a dick. So now I go after her. The set's over, and I walk out of the room, and I'm fucking pissed. But I also realize I left my glasses and my comedy book on the bar, and the guy on his table are at the bar. And I have to go through them to get the book. Okay. And so as I'm walking up to them, I hear them going, that's the guy. That's the guy. Okay. And I'm like, okay. I put my cell phone in my pocket, and I'm like, if they're gonna kick the shit out of me, at least I'm going after that guy. That was my plan.
Yeah.
It's like to go up and just get that guy. I'll take the beating from the rest of them, but I'm gonna lay it on that guy. Yeah. Okay. So I go up to get the book, and the guy goes to me, "With you, the guy on stage?" I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "Because you should know that, because you're the guy who kept interrupting me." And he's like, "Look, I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed. I'm drunk." He goes, "I was just sticking around." And he goes, "I just wanted to buy you a drink to apologize." And, he thought he was helping the show.
It's always, yeah.
But I drove 2.5 hours, okay, to this gig to just fight with the crowd. And it was like, such a shitty gig.
I can almost top that.
Go ahead, John Morton.
On a Thursday, I break my tooth, right? And I got to go to the dentist, and they put a temporary crown in my mouth, right? So now I'm off on Friday because I'm going out and working out in Governors, right? So it's 8 o'clock show. So I leave at 3 o'clock, because that's what you have to do when you go out to that.
Did you get there on time?
Yeah, dude, it took me 5 hours to get there. That's the story. So I'm on stage, and I'm hosting for Vic at this point, and I get back. It was Saturday morning. I went to the dentist in the morning, had the temporary put in, and I'm on stage, and there's this typical Long Island, sorry, Mike, trash. Okay. She's sitting right in the front, and she has her feet on the stage. And I go, "Ma'am, do you mind taking your feet off the stage? I'm trying to work here." Doesn't listen to me.
Who are you, William Stevenson?
I think it's the height of disrespect.
95% of the shows that I do at these clubs here, that somebody's got their feet on the stage.
I drives me insane. It absolutely drives me insane. So I'm going on, and then she takes them off, she puts them back on. I'm like, I thought we had this conversation already, right? Now she leaves them on, and now she's yapping, and she will not shut up. And now people are starting to get pissed. So now as people are booing her, I feel something happen in my mouth. Like, what the fuck is this? My temporary falls out as I'm on stage, and she's yapping and arguing with the people that she can talk with as long as she wants, because she bought a ticket. And my temporary comes out, and I go, "Ma'am, your voice is so fucking bad. You're making my teeth fall out." And I never, to this day, I have never had an eruption like I heard.
I was going to say,
it was a 6 minute
destroyed.
It was a 6-minute just nonstop to the point where she actually went in tears and walked out of the show.
How does Vic follow that?
Right.
By telling me, hey, I like that joke that you did on stage. I'm going to do that later. That's another story for us.
Oh, man, we're opening up cans of worms tonight.
Vic was in the green room yanking out his wisdom tooth.
Exactly. I'll tell you another really good one. Then we'll switch over to music because it is a music podcast.
Yes.
So I'm in Knights of Columbus in Boonton. And it's huge. It's like 400 people in there. It's all dudes. There's no men. There's no women in the show. It's only guys at the show. So I'm doing the middle spot and I'm doing some crowd work. I see this old guy in the front. And I go, anybody celebrating anything today? And he goes, it's my birthday. He was really nice. I go, how old are you? He goes, 85. I'm like, that's fantastic, right? He goes, it's also my 60th wedding anniversary. I'm like, oh, it's fantastic. This is awesome. I'm like, you're Italian, right? And he goes, yeah, you know it. And he's laughing, he's smiling. And I go, oh, come on, 85, man. You don't even need Viagra when you're Italian at 85, right? It's all that olive oil and garlic. It gets it up right away. This guy next to him stands up and goes, are you talking about fucking my mother? And I go, relax. We're having fun. He goes, yeah, say it again. I'm going to fucking shoot you in the parking lot dead. And I go, everybody hears this, right? There's 400 people tell me he's good. He stands up and lifts his shirt up and he's packing. He's got a fucking piece, right, in his belt, right? So I'm doing this joke about my cell phone, and I'm opening for Uncle Floyd. I have all people, the nicest, sweetest man alive, right?
You got to pack heat when you go. Yeah.
Oh my God. And the booker's in the back of the room. I'm doing this whole joke about my phone, and I go, get my check ready. And I text him from the stage. I play it into the act, and I get off stage, people are laughing, whatever. As I get off stage, the guy stands up and I'm walking through and he's following me to the freaking parking lot.
Oh my God.
I was like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, right? I literally did one of these. The guy had the check in the air. I snatched it and I ran out the front door. And this guy was made it to the door while I got to my car.
Did you actually run?
Let me tell you something. I'm a fat ninja when I need to be. Believe me, you pull a gun on me, I'm gonna be freaking Usain Morton, for Christ's sake.
It didn't look like a run to like normal people, but it felt like a run for like me.
Let me tell you, man, that was bad. That was a bad situation.
Wow. Wild.
So let's switch gears here a little bit. So, Kings, yes, the name of the show is Who's Your Band, and your favorite band is Black Sabbath, right?
They are my favorite band, yeah.
They're your favorite. Like we have spoke about Sabbath before, but we're cool talking about Sabbath all the time. Your favorite incarnation of Sabbath, Ozzy? Is it with Dio or Gillan?
It's definitely with Ozzy. I love Dio and I love Dio Sabbath, but definitely Ozzy. I'm just a huge Ozzy fan. I love Ozzy solo. That's just one of my favorite things is just Ozzy solo, but Ozzy Sabbath is my favorite band, my favorite music of all time.
How'd you get into Sabbath?
I have older cousins. They're much older than me, and so when we'd have family functions, I'd be in their room while they're beating the shit out of me with Sabbath in the background. They were all big, they listened to a lot more, a lot of Sabbath, Van Halen, and stuff like that. So that's how I got into those bands. But my cousin Artie was a huge Sabbath fan. I remember that.
Do you have a favorite album?
I don't really have a favorite album. I don't. No, I don't.
Okay, if you have to name 3 Desert Island Sabbath songs, what are you going with? And we could do Ozzy era if you want.
Yeah, I would go. Mr. Crowley is probably one of my favorite songs of all time.
That's Ozzy though. Let's go Sabbath.
Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
That's a great song. Yeah, love that song.
That's probably the first song that really turned me on to them. Oh man, get a writer's block on but I don't know.
Sean Morton.
3 Sabbath songs. I'm gonna go
3 Desert Island Sabbath songs.
Children of the Grave.
Fucking great song. I'm so glad you said that.
I love that. I'm I'm probably gonna go Iron Man only because it was my intro to Sabbath.
I think Iron Man and War Pigs are both like the intro Sabbath songs.
I mean, that was kind of like my first intro, I would say. But the third one's tough. I mean, I can go Am I Going Insane? A National Acrobat.
Fairies Wear Boots is one of my favorite songs.
That's a great one too. All in the Sky is a great song.
That's probably one of my favorite songs of all time also.
But I might go with Heaven and Hell as my third.
I think it's one of the top 10 guitar riffs of all time, to be honest with you.
It's a great song. And it's a great changeover with Sabbath because they really became a different band.
Yeah.
And I like when there's certain band, like Anthrax is a band that's like that too. And they had Joey Belladonna switched over to John Bush. They became a totally different band. They still had the Sabbath sound, but Dio took that to a different level because he was really, besides Freddie Mercury, I think he's the greatest heavy metal, hard rock singer of all time.
What about Bruce Dickinson?
I love Bruce Dickinson, and Bruce Dickinson's version of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath from the Nativity in Black cover album is the best one on the album. But and I mean, I don't know. I still go Dio over Bruce Dickinson. My whole
ceiling when I was in junior high school was just a giant Master Reality poster that I had made, and
Sabbath when I was in high school. I used to have like this denim jacket with the cross on the back.
I just would say the Glenn Miller Orchestra on the back.
yes. I like Tommy Dorsey, because I had Edge.
Did you 23 Skidoo at your social?
Yes. I was very into this was again the 1920s, and when I would hang out to speakeasies. Okay. No, man. Did
you go for a malted at the soda shop afterwards?
Yes, we spoke to the soda jerk, and I said, "Hey, can you play his 23 Skidoo for me? So that way I can watch the floppers dance." No, I was into Sabbath, and I would wear this Sabbath jacket, but I did it myself. So like I had to cram the last couple of letters in at the end because it didn't fit in the cross.
The best is just picturing you making it. Like it's just like I'm sitting down at a table making this denim jacket.
You know what I made it out of? Charcoal, like charcoal colors.
Awesome.
I can actually picture Jeff right now. Okay, no glasses, right? Long mullet,
long hair,
sitting at his table, going, "I'm gonna get so much fucking pussy from this jacket."
Pussy.
And everybody look at my Black Sabbath jacket. There's no H on it. My Black Sabbath.
I'll tell you how out of touch I was. Like when Sabbath, kind of broke up and they came out with Heaven and Hell before it even was released, and Ozzy left. I remember being at a party and I'm talking to this girl and I was all upset, and she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Ozzy's out of Sabbath."
Yeah.
And they got this guy Dio, and I don't know what this is going to be. And she's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Mike didn't say anything. Mike didn't say anything because he was still swimming in his dad's balls at that time when you were out of high school.
I'm in high school and I'm upset. I'm talking to girls about Sabbath. Like no girl gave a shit. Like Rush and Sabbath are the two like total like salami bands. Like no girls are into those bands.
Jeff, what's wrong? Ozzy's not on Sabbath anymore.
Right. That's what I was like. And the girl's like, what's wrong with you? You're not in the band.
I don't even know this Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, I don't know what it's going to be. In fact, and when Heaven and Hell came out, I loved it so much, that I got to listen to it a little bit. Like when I graduated, that was like my that was my quote in the high school yearbook. No, Sean, I'm gonna make it so the next time you see me, you will punch me in the face, and I'm gonna deserve it. Okay,
go ahead. Mine, look, I will preface this. Mine is equally as douchey.
No way, no way. Mike, we're having a contest right now,
so we'll talk about it.
We're gonna have a contest right now. I'm gonna say mine. Sean's gonna say his, and you tell me which is more douchey. Okay, this was my quote. You ready, Sean?
Yeah.
And, oh, God, this is so embarrassing. All right. The quote was, "The world is full of kings and queens that blind your eyes and steal your dreams. It's heaven and hell." That was my quote.
Yeah, yours is worse.
How much do you want to fucking punch me?
I really do.
I thought it was so profound.
Mine was the same thing that makes you live can kill you in the end.
Oh, you're deep. You're deep.
That was from Neil Young from Hank to Hendrix.
Yeah. You know what mine was? Every new beginning comes from some other beginnings and semisonic.
Fucking semisonic faggot.
And I hyphen semisonic in the fucking yearbook.
Oh, I think Keegan wins this one.
Yeah. Nobody could outdouche my yearbook.
Yeah, why couldn't USB stop, collaborate, and listen? That should have been your fucking.
Oh man!
Oh my god!
That is brutal.
When Jeff made that denim jacket, I'm just picturing that scene in Billy Madison when he shows up to the high school with the REO Speedwagon denim jacket on.
I could relate to that. I loved REO Speedwagon, still do. Yeah. That's why I love Cobra Kai so much, is because like Johnny is still in the 80s, and there was an episode where he's wearing a zebra t-shirt, and I'm trying to find that zebra t-shirt. Do you guys remember Zebra?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you do. See, they were a big Long Island band.
This Randy Jackson still plays every bar in friggin' Tuesday night.
Yeah. If you look in Good Times magazine, there's Randy Jackson is somewhere showing up. You know.
You still read Good Times magazine?
Yeah, when I used to work in bars, the magazine used to always be in the bars that I worked at.
So you listen to Sabbath, but who else do you like? You have a couple others you said.
It's kind of eclectic. I'm a big Metallica fan also. The band I've probably seen the most is OAR. I'm a big OAR guy.
Really?
Yeah.
They're not bad.
I've probably seen them like 18 times. Me and my cousin go see them every summer when they play at the beach over here.
OAR is one of those bands that like all the guys who like go to the shows to see them have like the flip flops that have like the beer opener on the bottom of the flip flop.
That's my cousin, and you know, I love them, but that's my cousin 100%. My cousin's 37, same age as me, just a perpetual frat boy. You know, he lives in Long Beach on the water over here, and that's him. But so I've seen them the most. But like I mentioned to Jeff also, like I was into like glam metal a lot for a while, so I like Faster Pussycat, LA Guns. I've seen LA Guns a ton of times.
Did you see LA Guns with Phil Lewis singing, or did you see Tracy Guns as LA Guns with
the first time I saw LA Guns was Phil Lewis. Second time was Phil Lewis and Stacey Blades. The first time I saw them, then the second time I think it was like Jizzy Pearl was in the band, and it was Tracy Guns, and now Phil Lewis and Tracy Guns are back together, and there's another LA Guns.
They're touring this summer.
Yeah, they are. Riley's LA Guns, because they just settled in the lawsuit between the two bands. So Riley's
ridiculous.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, by the end of 2021, early 2022, you're going to see Sebastian Bach back in Skid Row.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Well, you know what happened, right? Their singer has liver disease, and he can't perform. Right. He got like stage 4 liver cancer.
Really?
Oh shit!
No,
I'm like, what a shame. Hey, can we get Sebastian back? Like, I have no qualms. I don't give a shit if this guy dies. I just want to see Sebastian Bach playing back in Skid Row.
Jesus Christ!
Sebastian Bach, it was so disrespectful. I saw it was Sebastian Bach opened up for Tesla and Whitesnake at Jones Beach, and they gave
Was this in 1987?
No, this was like 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And they gave Sebastian Bach like 10 minutes. He did like 3 songs, and that was it. And then fucking you had to sit. You know, I like Tesla, but I was really there to see Sebastian Bach and Whitesnake. But
what songs did he do?
I don't even remember what songs he did.
18 in Life.
He definitely did 18 in Life.
Gotta do 18 in Life. Monkey Business.
I don't remember. I'm sure he did.
If he does 3 songs, he's doing Youth Gone Wild, 18 in Life, and I Remember You, and he's getting the fuck off the stage. And
I hate I Remember You.
It's not bad.
Definitely didn't do I Remember You.
I'd rather hear Quicksand Jesus.
Yeah.
Great song. Wasted Time is even better.
Yeah. But I agree. I think they will wind up getting back together. Faster Pussycat does a great cover of You're So Vain.
Oh my God, how good is that? Yeah.
It's really one of the better covers that I've ever heard.
They changed their sound though a little bit too. Like they're one of those bands that were real, like glam 80s, but now they're kind of like more of an industrial goth kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like they've changed their look. They put out like some weird fucking
and like he's like clean, tame me down. He's like clean and sober now, and it was like kind of depressing the last time I saw them.
You know what? No rock star should be clean and sober.
Yeah, I know.
Just snort some Xanax or something. Nobody should be straight.
But you got to be able to perform. Did you guys see right before COVID, really, the video that was circulating about Stephen Fiercy from Rat? He was out in Long Island at the Paramount, and he couldn't even stand. He's sitting on the riser of the drum kit, and he's just kind of like laid out. And he's just mumbling the words, and it was embarrassing. It was bad.
He said, "I didn't."
One of the weirdest things I ever saw with something like that was it was a show called New York Steel. It was right after 9/11, and they put together a big show that all the money was going to first responders, and it was like Twisted Sister, Anthrax, Ace Frehley, Sebastian Bach, I think, was on the show.
Like all the New York bands.
It was all it was all New York people. All the money went to the FDNY, stuff like that. So they announced Ace Frehley. Now I'm tall. I'm 6'3". My friend Joe's 6'6". We could see almost over anybody at these concerts. And we're looking and we see somebody just like passed out. Ace is passed out on his stack, on the side of his stack of his amps, right? And his hands on his guitar. And they go, "Ladies and gentlemen, Ace Frehley." And someone comes from behind and pushes him, like full on pushes. He wakes up and he goes right into it. He just starts wailing. He was passed out 3 seconds before, drunk over his ass, and then just starts wailing into New York Groove.
That's probably what they do at every show that he did. They're just used to that being how it started.
Crazy shit, man.
That's funny. I had a good Sabbath story I wanted to tell you when you asked me to do it, if you don't mind.
No, of course. That's what we would love to hear it.
So it was a couple years ago. They were doing the farewell tour, and they were coming to the Jones Beach over here. First of all, Jones Beach, my favorite place to see a concert. It's right on the water. Been. Oh, it's so good. The band plays like on the water, and it's like separate from where the crowd sits, and it's really awesome. So I wasn't able to go because I had a gig. And like 2 days before the gig, it gets canceled. So I'm like, I got to get tickets to this concert. So I went on StubHub and I saw 2 tickets, $35 each. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I figured like it's 2 days before the show. Somebody's trying to get rid of tickets cheap. So I bought them $35 each. I called up our friend, Richie Byrne. I know he's a big Sabbath fan too. I'm like, Richie.
He did the show.
Yeah. So I go, Richie, I got 2 tickets to Sabbath. I got them. You want to go? It's on Friday. You working? He's like, no, I'm not working. Let's go. So I'm like, I'll pick you up. So Richie's psyched. He's like, what do I owe you for the tickets? I'm like, nah, I got you. Thinking, $35 a ticket. I don't.
Hey, get me a beer. Get me a beer at the venue. It'll be the same.
So it was like the perfect situation. And then he's thrilled because he's getting a free ticket. I'm driving him to the concert. We pull into the parking lot, and my friend Chris is doing security there. I didn't even know, and he let us park in like the VIP section. I'm like, this is beautiful.
Nice.
So we walk up to the gate. I show the lady the tickets, and there was an older lady, and she goes, okay, thanks. Now where are your tickets? I'm like, I just handed them to you. She goes, no, these are to get into the VIP tent. You also need tickets to the concert.
Oh, you fucking idiot.
I think you posted about this, didn't you?
Yeah, I think, yeah. I think Richie might have posted about it.
Oh, I remember this.
And dude, and now I'm arguing with this lady because she's old. I'm figuring that she doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm like, no. This is the ticket. I just handed you the tickets. I bought them from StubHub. And she's like, no, a lot of people make this mistake. That's just to get into the VIP tent, but you have to have tickets to the concert also. And I'm yelling. I'm like, I want to see your manager. I want to speak to somebody. And Richie's walking away. I'm thinking he's just embarrassed. When he walked away, he went up to the ticket booth and bought 2 fucking tickets to the concert. Cheapest tickets were like $185 each. So now Richie comes over and he's like, Mike, I got the tickets. Let's just go in. And I'm like, I don't have any cash on me. So now Richie just paid like over $300 for these 2 tickets. I'm like, I don't have any cash on me. I'm like, I'll buy you some drinks when we get in. And it was the most embarrassing thing. I'm yelling at this lady, asking to speak to the manager. So Richie ends up now he's out almost $400. And we ended up. It was a great time though. We were in the VIP tent, so you're right next to the stage and stuff. Oh. But I bought him a couple beers. I'm like, I had my credit card on me.
Something like that happened to me. I'm at a Yankee game. Do you guys know Chris Murphy?
Yeah. Yeah.
New York comedian. Me and Chris Murphy would go to the Yankee game. We're supposed to meet Vincent James. You know Vincent James?
Yeah.
You know Vincent James in our league, right?
He's on our league, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the three of us, right? So we're at the game, and I have the tickets, and I think it was the first time I ever bought anything on StubHub, and we go up to go into the game, and they go scan it, and it comes up red. I'm like, there's no fucking way. I go, I bought these tickets. They're legit. Comes up red. They tell me to go to the mat, and I'm arguing with this guy, but just like you, I'm like, there's no fucking way. Okay, your thing is defective. There's no way, right? He goes, there's nothing I can do. Go to the ticket office. You know, so I go to the ticket office, and I come with an attitude. I'm like, you fucking sister, right? And I'm making a scene. It's embarrassing. The guy's real calm. He's just like this. The tickets are for tomorrow.
Oh shit!
I fucked up the day, and so now we're there, and I have to get. We're not gonna not go to the game, so I bought tickets. I had to transfer the tickets. I had gigs the next day. I gave the tickets for the next day to my niece and nephew. Going to this game cost me over $500. You know, right. because I can't tell the difference between a Tuesday and a Wednesday.
I told you the Metallica story, right, with Joe Fernandez.
Wait. Please tell Keegan, you're gonna fucking hate Sean Morton with this, and this is a good way to close this show.
One of my best friends.
Embarrassing story.
One of my best friends was a DJ at the big rock station here, so he gives us all tickets for Metallica at Giant Stadium. So we go, and he has good seats. I had second to last row in the upper low. So it's me, and I asked Joe Fernandez to come, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll come, no problem." So. My friend says, "Hey, do me a favor. Just you got to sit with my sister-in-law and my best friend. Just make sure you keep an eye on them." Blah blah blah. Now, Sean went into beast mode when he came to drinking in the parking lot beforehand, so I was annihilated. So we go all the way to the top, and it's 2 rows from the top, right? And the girls go, "We have to go to the bathroom." So I'm like, I gotta be a good friend. I gotta watch the girls. So I go, "Joe, let's take a walk with them. Make sure we go down." Right. So we go downstairs. And as soon as we get down to the bottom, we're walking towards the bathroom. I see guest services. And I go, "Ladies, give me your tickets." So I get all their tickets. I grab Joe's ticket, and they go, "Ma'am, can I ask you a question?" I go, "Can we have better seats?" And she goes, "Well, what's the matter with your seats?" I go, "Look, I don't want to make a big stink, but I'm a pretty famous comedian. And our seats are really high." I go, God. "And plus it's my friend's birthday." And she goes, "Here." And she shows her license, and she looks at me. She goes, "You give me some tickets to a show?" I was like, "Absolutely, honey." She goes, "Let me see what I can do." She takes our 4 tickets from section 327, row 32, hands me 4 tickets. She goes, "Happy birthday, honey. I'll hit you up on those tickets." And I look down, 14th row. Upgraded.
I don't know what's more douchey right now. I'm a famous comedian.
I said I'm kind of a famous comedian.
Kind of a famous comedian. Or the way you're saying, honey.
Oh, yeah. But here's the best part, Mike. The best part about it is I get the 4 tickets. Now we start going down, and we're literally 14 rows from the stage on the side. So now my friend's on the floor. And he's like, "Wow, how the fuck did you do this?" Right? So now he comes running around, and then he comes down my section. So now what we're doing is I'm handing at him 4 tickets. So now he's running back up, and he's bringing 3 people down. And then he's taking the 4 tickets and running people up and bringing 4 people back down. We had an entire section of all our friends because we all met and used the same 4 tickets, and we watched the show from the 14th row. It was so close to the pyro. I had a suntan when I was done.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's great. That's a great story. Speaking of tickets, before we wrap up, Keegan, what's going on with that festival?
Which festival?
I don't know. There was a festival that we all kind of commented on, said we should go to that festival.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. You know what? I forgot to get the tickets, but I'm gonna get them. That was with bands that were there, but
it looked like a good festival. That's what I'm saying.
And was it in Philly?
Yeah, I think it was
in Maryland. It's in Maryland.
This is going to be the summer festivals are usually amazing. Yeah. This summer is going to be the most ridiculous summer of festivals ever because
that lineup
until next year, which is even going to be better.
No, well, probably, but this is the year because everybody is just chomping at the bit to want to get out and play.
And there's no place to play because everything is booked.
Metallica is doing these festivals, and they're playing 2 nights on the festivals. They're doing the Friday and the Sunday night on every festival. It's fucking insane.
Did you see, though, however, the stadium tour with Def Leppard and Motley Crue got pushed back? However, there's a second stadium tour that is going to happen, and that is Weezer, Fall Out Boy, and Green Day.
It's not a bad show.
Playing Citi Field.
That's really cool.
And I will tell you, Weezer is a great band. I know Jeff loves them. They just put out a new album called Van Weezer.
Excellent.
I absolutely love this record.
Really?
Excellent.
It's a tribute to Van Halen. So it's kind of like
it's a tribute to it's a tribute to a lot of bands. There's a total Crazy Train riff on that song.
Yeah,
too.
The whole song is Crazy Train, but yeah, they did a whole album. It's like a tribute to Eddie Van Halen.
And they do what do they covered Eddie Van Halen?
No covers. They wrote original songs that sound like 80s Van Halen.
Oh, I got to check that out. That's awesome.
It's really good.
I love what Weezer's doing now. They're doing like fun shit. Like they did Africa.
They did a whole cover album out.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. They did the Aha. They covered, they covered a bunch of stuff. They're a fun band, Yeah, and they also, I don't know if you guys ever seen them live, but they are kind of like they kind of have a heavy edge to them live.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're a good band.
He's a brilliant genius, Rivers Cuomo. He went to like Harvard or something, right?
He did go to Harvard, yeah. And I think their best album is probably the second one. I think Pinkerton's great. It was a completely misunderstood album. And I think the thing about that album was when it first came out, bad critical acclaim. 5 years later, it's on everybody's must listen to list.
Yeah,
it's one of the top 100 albums of all time.
A lot of albums are like that, though.
Yeah. But anyway, man,
fun episode.
Look into that festival because it's the July 4th weekend, I think it is, and it was like Night Ranger and shit. And
who I love Night Ranger. But
we can't do it. We can't go the next weekend, Jeff, because me and you are performing at Laugh It Up Comedy Club in Poughkeepsie, New York.
I am really looking forward to it.
I love that club. Dan
it's a great club. Dan is an amazing dude, and his daughter is adorable.
He is,
and looks just like him.
Yeah, Dan's a funny dude because me and Dan have totally different politics, so we argue on
Facebook. No, get out of here.
But he's a good dude.
Listen, man, we could do this for another hour, but this went by really quick. Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. It was good hanging, man. I miss you guys.
Always, yeah. So look into those tickets. Let's leave that weekend open and let's all hang. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening to Who's Your Band. We'll be back. Actually, I think we'll take off next weekend, right? Memorial Day weekend.
We deserve a break. I'm working on a big show for us. I'm pulling some strings, Jeffrey. I'm pulling some strings. Well, possible. I'm reaching out to Pat Benatar's people. Okay, I'm trying to make this happen. If I can't, she's going to be performing in Morristown, New Jersey on October 5th on a Sunday. And I'm trying to work out that we can do a live interview with Pat Benatar. If I can pull this off, Jeffrey, I will definitely make sure that the BJ that you give me is not toothy, because that is going to be your dream. I'm also working on another big name. I'm not going to mention any names, but we just kind of said that Weezer did a tribute album to a certain band, and maybe this guy's dad was in the band. I don't know.
Guys, we're breaking news here on Who's Your Band. But keep listening, keep subscribing. Hey, listen, we wound up getting a nice mention again in Blabbermouth that that episode's numbers went up, and you saw our subscriptions go up. So, guys, just keep doing what you're doing. We really appreciate it, and I'm glad. This is the first time in a long time that you and I have done a show like together.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And you get to hang with our old buddy Mike Keegan. All right, everybody.
Blabbermouth to mumble mouth. Anyway, thank you for a great episode. And we will hit subscribe and like. And Mike, what's your social media handle so they can look you up and like you, friend you?
At Mike CJ Keegs, and then just Mike Keegan on Facebook is where most of my stuff is. So
CJ Keegs.
God. All right, we're out of here.
Bye, guys.
Bye.